Good morning, everybody. My name is Tyler Finken. I'm the Health Marketing Director at Western Marketing, here with the one and only Josh Malang of ProDash. Appreciate you being on this morning, Josh. Definitely looking forward to this one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. It's we're gonna have some fun.
So, what are we going to talk about today, Josh?
I think we're getting a little top producer action today, bud.
Ooh, I like that one.
Mm-hmm. So if you kind of just want to share a bit about kind of how we end up working with you, I think there's a ton of new people on here. Matter of fact, maybe one or two of these look familiar. Everybody else looks like new.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll kind of give the 30,000-foot view of how we met and how we got hooked up here. So Josh and I actually met. I think it was a little less than a year ago. We were at this insurance convention, kind of a top producer roundtable type deal, and Josh got up and gave a presentation on a couple of the services that he offers, as well as the technology platform and everything that he's got. And everything that he was saying really stuck with me and my brother, who was actually with us, and some conversations that we had been having internally about some of the issues that we were facing as an insurance brokerage, as well as a lot of the issues that our downline agents are having. So we actually started talking to Josh after that meeting, found out he was from Des Moines, which luckily is only about an hour and 10 minutes from where we are. And so we got together and we started talking about some of the things that he's got to offer, some of the things that we've got to offer, and seemed just like a perfect marriage. A lot of the issues that we were having and our agents were having, he had solutions for, and some of the issues that he was having, we had solutions for as well. So it just kind of fit perfectly there. And we started building a couple programs with them, one of them being the top producer platform here that we're going to be talking about today. And everything has been working exquisitely so far. I mean, we've got a bunch of agents that are working with Josh. We've got a bunch of agents that we brought on because of Josh with our agency as well. So that's kind of the really quick 30,000-foot view. We've got a lot of really, really exciting stuff to talk about today. So, Josh, whenever you're ready, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Cool, man. You got to stay on because I need at least one person to laugh at my jokes, okay?
I'll do that.
Otherwise, I get a complex really quick, and then it all goes downhill. So I appreciate everybody on the call today. I don't know wherever you're at. I see there are a few of you in Florida I looked up, and I'm sure there's plenty in Iowa as well. It's about 70 and sunny here in Des Moines. So perfect weather. Happens to be my birthday, as a matter of fact. So it's the Star Wars day and my birthday. So celebrating that, having an awesome call with you guys and hanging out with my boy Tyler. And I'm going to probably have lunch outside today because it's glorious. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about kind of the background that I have in the industry and what sort of led me to this point to kind of create some of these things. And then really dig into some of the structures that people need really to become top producers and some of the evidence that we have internally and some of the things that we've done to help other people. So I actually got into the business when I was 22, which is now a very long time ago, 19 years ago, which is crazy to even think about that. Pretty soon I'll have been in the business longer than I was alive when I started here in about a year. But I got in the business at 22. My friends were all getting out of college, and I'd spent 2 years as a medical assistant, drawing blood and giving shots and taking x-rays. And then decided I want to get into a different industry. My buddy recruited me into this place, this little insurance company. And that was kind of the beginning of it. So I was a producer for a few years, ended up being one of the top. Yeah. Sorry, Alex. I've one person in my audience today on the audio. Yeah, got in the business, did pretty well as a producer, and ended up top 12 out of 4,200 agents in a captive company. My last year as a producer, which is a couple years into the business actually, and I really fell in love with the business. I loved the opportunity that I could get paid what I was worth, which is so cliche, but is totally true. I mean, if you're not happy with your income, it's your fault. I mean, if you are happy with your income, it's your fault. There's no, it's not like anybody's in your way. And so you've got the ability to really kind of own your future in this industry, which is awesome, so empowering. And the fact that we can do it by helping other people and genuinely, putting them in a better spot than we found them, saving them money, providing real value for them is just this awesome. So it's been so fun. But I got into leadership. Got into a management position because I had enough of lots of money and independence. So I decided I was going to become a manager and lose both of those immediately. And so I did that for a couple of years, built a successful team. And I had about 24 agents in 18 months from a team that started from scratch, really. So from there, I went out after about a year and a half of that, went and started a branch office for John Hancock for about 6 months. And then I started my company, Malang Financial Group, in June of 2008. At the beginning of the Great Recession, evidently, hindsight will tell us. So really launched this ProDash business at the beginning of the pandemic. So I have a pretty sweet track record for major national meltdowns for starting businesses. So maybe Tyler and I can start something new during the next massive meltdown in the future. But so started that in June of 2008 and really built my agency on recruiting and training and developing people into the business. So, I really tried to replicate the model of what I learned from a sales and management standpoint at the last company I was at, but in an independent basis. So we're recruiting and training and developing new people into the industry. So that worked really well. Averaged about 12 producers in the office over about 12 years. We typically have one or two kind of entry mid-level managers at a time. We usually have one or two staff at a time. We did get up to the point where we had about 6,000 clients after working about 7 years at building the agency. And so did that. And then about a year and a half ago, really just ran out of steam with that. Really just could not envision myself doing that for another 12 years. I had just gotten beat up from, working with brand new people and really helping them with the structures they need to become successful. While myself, I'd continue to grow the business and continue to grow myself into a more and more valuable person, more and more valuable entity, and grow the business into a more and more valuable support and resource structure. And I just got to the point where I felt like my market was off. Like I felt like I was providing too much value myself and my business to brand new people into the industry. They couldn't really benefit from a lot of the stuff I was doing because it was on a different level, which it ended up being true because now I'm working with IMOs and agencies and things like that and providing exactly what they need to get to the next level. So now I'm working with companies that are doing 3 million in revenue and getting them to 10 million in revenue instead of working with people who are making zero and getting them to 100 grand. So it was a really interesting time. So I transitioned at that point into really wanting to become a business to business firm. So I took inventory on what we had. We had awesome staff. We developed and retained some great people that were actual support people of the agency. We had several thousand clients at the time that were producing a pretty significant amount of recurring revenue, which kind of helped offset all of our costs. And we developed some pretty cool technology to really manage the operations of the business while we're growing. I didn't have the luxury of having any sort of partnership or any sort of financing or any kind of thing like that. It was, you kill what you eat. I'm in the same business all you guys have been in. I haven't had anybody tell me what I'm worth since 2002. I've been on straight commission in one way, shape, or form until now. I can pay myself a W-2, but it comes off of the 1099s that I get from all the carriers and people that I do business with. So, so we're in a business to business space now. So what I found is we can actually provide a lot of value for people with our technology. We'll touch base on that a little bit, where we're able to consolidate information for people from their lead sources to their client information, as well as their existing policy and account information, and then also the quoting as well. So we got a pretty awesome tech platform. It's getting better every day. We're building new relationships, joint ventures to make that just really the preeminent thing in the entire senior market. So we've got that. And then as I was talking to people about the tech, working with other agents and agencies, I realized, man, not a lot of people have the same infrastructure and kind of scale that we do. And so a lot of people, when they get to 400 or 500 clients, are really reaching a plateau where it's hard for them to continue to grow because there's so much reactive service and your phone ringing, and there's so much retention issues, particularly during AEP, but really throughout the year on med subs, where, with thousands of people being in the industry, call centers everywhere popping up and calling your clients, there's probably, you're on this call right now, there's probably 10 people in your book of business that are getting a phone call from an agent somehow right now, while you're talking to us on this call. So I realized that what we built from a service standpoint to manage our existing book of business internally had some value as well. And so we built out our proactive service model, which we had trademarked, and we're able to provide really proactive and reactive service for people's existing book of business using their branding. I noticed a few of you who signed up recently today have pretty significant businesses, and you're all kind of really well branded, using your own domain name and things like that. One of the other things we do is help people with branding who don't have a logo or don't have, if your email is like, Tyler Finken Insurance at yahoo.com, like that's cool and all, but like if you're trying to really scale it and create a business and become a top producer, you're going to want like a business name. You're going to want like a brand, a something that people can resonate with. So create some messaging around. So one of the other things that we started doing is really helping people create brands, helping people create branding and messaging and marketing and that type of stuff. That's been really fun as well. And then we also have a situation where there's a lot of people that are approaching retirement in our industry right now. And, as a general rule, our type of businesses, you guys, are illiquid and unmarketable. You can't just, you're not going to put a sign up and hire a business broker and sell a senior market insurance practice. It's just not that easy. So, we're all trying to build equity in ourselves and our brand and our businesses, our agencies. But at the end of the day, if what you have is not liquid and it's not marketable, what is it for an asset? I mean, I could have a $5 million rock out here in front of our building, but if there's not a market for a $5 million rock, that rock ain't worth a damn thing, And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a marketplace for people who are in this space to actually be able to have some liquidity in their practice. If they say, hey man, I'm trying to get out of the business, a market there to buy the business and to transition to the clients, and also have something that's worth something. So help people understand and create value, create valuations and succession planning and things like that. So that's another area that we work in. So that's a little background on me. And again, thank you, Tyler. It's been so much fun working with you guys. We've had a ton of success in a very short amount of time. It has been an absolute blast. We've helped a ton of people, and we're looking forward to continuing that. So I appreciate all you guys being on the call, and Tyler again, and Western Marketing for putting us on this stage. We do have a couple new things with them that are really terrific. We are now on the homepage of the Western Marketing website, which shout out to your brother for that. Your brother, the marketing and tech operations guru that he is. We've got a few other spots in there as well that you can kind of click around and find some stuff on ProDash. We do have a microsite dedicated to Western Marketing in there that is really all of the things that we have on our core website, branded for our partner here at Western Marketing. We've also developed a market positioning guide. So everybody who's been on this call, we're going to shoot that out after this call. It's like a little 8-page PDF that talks about some of these basic structures. And that's kind of a cool thing. And also we're plugging into, these guys have, they're doing kind of a top producer forum in Lake Tahoe next week. I'm going to be there talking about some of these things and how we can help people get to another level. And then also, you guys have that conference coming up here in June in Atlantis in the Bahamas. I think probably a lot of people on this call are going to be at that as well. I'll be speaking for 2 entire days at that conference. And so that will be, I'm kidding, like 40 minutes.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I need to check the agenda again, but okay.
When did the agenda change? I got my hooks in there real good now, man. I'm changing the agenda. No, I'm going to be talking there for a little bit about some of this stuff as well. We have a new thing we're coming out with. We're building we're calling it the Mogul Maker Life Sales Series. So it's going to be another structure that we're implementing to plug into Western Marketing to really help provide a lot of value and help people level up their business. So super excited about that and all this other stuff. So without further ado, let's get into this top producer business. I'm going to share with you my screen here. We're going to get into this. All right. So what we're going to talk about is some of the structures that people need to get to the next level as a producer. As an independent producer working in the senior market, we got a lot of unique challenges and obstacles. But we also got a ton of really unique opportunities that a lot of other spaces in our industry don't really provide. So we're going to talk about how the things that we do can plug into your practice and help you elevate and get to another level. So the first thing we're going to go over is the branding. So branding is really a fundamental thing that we believe you need to have into place to be really taken seriously as a business, to be able to scale your business up. So we do a few things for people to help them put these structures in place. So number one, and we're featuring really, it's the very best looking person that we've helped with branding happens to be Jane, who's one of your marketers, who's a customer of ours. There's a bunch of other people that look like you and me that we've done these for, and then Jane. So her seems like the very obvious one. Someone like Jane makes all of the stuff that you put her on look good. So.
Oh yeah, I actually had a couple clients ask to take my picture off of there when you did mine, so
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, it's like these are some of the things that we build out. So number one, we can help people if you don't have a brand. We have brands on the shelf. So we've actually built. I've got a graphic design firm that I partner with that actually creates brands. If you don't have a brand, you need one. If you have one and you don't like it, we probably have another one for you. But so we have a whole bunch of these. Anytime people take them, we take them off our shelf and replace them with new designs. So if you don't have a brand, like some of the hardest things to do is figure out like, what do I want this thing to look like? So it helps to have kind of a palette in front of you and you go, oh, I want it to look like that. That one looks good. I'll have that. So we've got that. So if you have a logo or you don't, we can hook you up. So let me back up a little bit. This whole entire conversation is about providing you the structures that you need to elevate your business, become a top producer, get into that $300,000 a year range and beyond. But like, if you have these things in place, terrific. If you have them in place and they need to be upgraded, terrific. If you don't, we're here to help. So it's not like we're trying to shovel this stuff down your throat. But really the whole objective here is to have a conversation with you guys, see what you're doing, what you're trying to do for your business, what your struggles are to get to the next level. If we can plug any of these things in to help you elevate, awesome. If not a big deal. And all these things are a la carte too, by the way. So these are all things that we do that are, yeah, hey, I want, that, I don't want that or whatever. So anyway, this is kind of the foundational or fundamental sort of stationary kit, if you will. So being able to communicate to your clients using really branded cards, from thank you cards, birthday cards, policy anniversary cards, and really consistency all the way across your brand from your letterhead to your cards and everything in between is really, really key. So they get that same kind of messaging and feeling anytime you're communicating with them. It's not just like a yellow piece of paper and a white envelope, an A4 envelope headed their way. So some of the other things we provide as well, we have what we call the firm brochure, which is really, it talks about, here's who we are and what we do and what we believe in. We put these things together for people just so that they can have kind of a point of messaging so they can communicate to their clients. Because guys, there's got to be some differentiation in the marketplace. There's a million of us running around out there, okay? And there's even more. There's a lot of carriers a lot of firms that are doing a really good job of recruiting people into the business, and a lot of call centers that are doing a really good job hiring people, and a lot of IMOs that are building people into the business. So you got to stand out. You got to have a unique brand that resonates with people, that they go, oh, I remember that. It can't just be XYZ Insurance. That's just not cutting it at this point. There's no differentiation there at all. So this firm brochure is a great feature. The other thing we build out these point of sale brochures. And what we found, guys, as we're building the agency, our retail agency, about a third of our revenue was Medicare, MedSup, MAPD. About a third of our revenue is underwritten life, like non-final expense stuff, IULs, that type of thing. And about a third of our revenue was FIAs and fee-based planning. So really balanced between a third. We never really sold products to people. We didn't come at them with, I'm going to talk to you about a Humana MAPD today. I'm going to talk about a Mutual of Omaha MedSup or Aetna MedSup or whatever. We came at them with a fact finder and some educational pieces. And that worked really effectively. And it's continuing to work really effectively as we're managing not only acquisitions that we're making of practices for people who are retiring, but our legacy retail business, as well as people who are paying us to service our clients. So these principles have worked, are working, and will work. But we firmly believe that by having branded point of sale materials to educate your clients on the areas that they have and that they have needs and concerns is really critical. It's hard to talk to them when you're throwing a Manhattan Life brochure in front of them, and going, hey, yeah, I work in this area and a few different areas too. We're an independent firm. They resonate whatever the brand is that you're throwing at them. They think that that's who you are and what you do. And so you come at them later and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, now I'm a fiduciary. I'm an investment advisor rep for a registered investment firm, and I'm here talking about your money. And they're like, I thought you were the Humana man. Like, what? what are you talking about? Why are you talking to me about that? When you come at them with a firm brochure that says, here's who we are, here's what we do, here's what we believe in branding, and a brochure that says, hey, I'm going to talk to you about your Medicare, because one of the things we do is educate people on the summary of Medicare changes and benefits. So let's talk about what you have. Let's talk about the changes from last year to this year. And let me educate you on the plan that you have. If you have better options, let's talk about them. If you don't, that's fine. And then you leave that behind, and then you're talking about something else. So these point of sale brochures are invaluable for people to really position yourself as an expert and as a resource for them to help build that credibility and that trust. So we have these built in our brand in a box kit for Medicare. And we update these every year and get you a new PDF, by the way. It's all done in your branding with your colors, your email, your phone number, your picture on them. And we update them every year as changes are made. But we have them for Medicare supplemental, which has like long-term care, home health care, short-term care, that kind of stuff on it, dental, vision, hearing, hospital indemnity. It talks about how to plug that into your existing Medicare coverage for upselling purposes. We have one for life insurance basics, retirement income basics. We're building one right now for ACA, and we actually also have one for PNC. If you're in that market or not, we are now, and would love to talk about it. Have been, weren't, are again. Super excited about that. So a couple other things that we do that can provide some value for people on the branding side of things. You need a basic website. You don't need anything, a 100-page thing that's going to magically gather all the leads from everywhere in the world and send them in your inbox. I know there's some stories out there that people think if they have a website that's amazing, it's just going to, like, their business is just going to grow for them. It's going to automatically happen. People are going to sign themselves up on all your links. Tyler, I don't know, you guys have probably thousands of people go on your website. How many of them have just signed themselves up for a dental plan or a med sup on those automatic enrollment links?
Yeah, very few.
Yeah, you got the website, yeah. They get it out there, they just sign themselves up. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the biggest misconceptions is, as soon as I put a website out there, people are just going to flock to it, and I'm going to have so many leads coming in that I'm not going to know what to do with. I mean, yeah, there's a way to get there, but it's not just by, throwing it up there and having a link to it. That's not the way to do it.
Yeah. So if I put this on a billboard, I can expect like thousands of people just to show up on my website, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, a website is a fundamental thing, a foundational thing that you need. You need it to be clean. You need it to look good. You don't need 1,000 pages. You're not trying to educate the world on Medicare or the other areas that you work in. You just need something where when people are like, hey, is this person, this firm legit? They can kind of look, see some smiling faces, see some of the work you do. In this example, this Thomas Insurance Agency, this looks just about like the Western Marketing conference table. I think you guys have more and better chairs than this, as a matter of fact. This is an impressive thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I was thinking it would look a little small, but
yeah. So, so we partner with Ken French at Snoozy for the people we work with, our customers. We have the same discount that Western Marketing has. We offer $59.95 or $59.99 on their websites. We get a little discount, same as them. So whether you go through us or you go through those guys, it doesn't matter. But Snoozy actually did our retail website. They do a great job. The team is super responsive. They're very professional. And they build really just quality websites. It's not going to be anything that blows anybody's hair back, but it's certainly not going to be anything you have to apologize for having. It's comprehensive and they do cool stuff. So the other thing that they have on there is they do have a program for social media. And again, this is not something, guys, that you go, oh God, I got social media now. I got to post every day. And there's gonna be thousands of people engaging with me like I'm Kim Kardashian. Okay. That ain't how it goes. But you do need to have a basic level of, presence. If people are website researchers, they're going to go to your website. If they're Facebook people, they're going to go to your Facebook. If they're LinkedIn people, they're going to go to your LinkedIn. You put something on Facebook and I probably won't see it for 5 years. You put something on LinkedIn, I'll probably see it in 10 minutes. I get notifications from that. That's kind of my platform. So you kind of got to meet people where they're at. And so having these basic structures out there is something that's really important. But again, if you don't have a brand, if you don't have some point of sale materials and some messaging in place, this doesn't really matter. But if you have that, you probably need this. And if you have that, then another level of that is really working with another partner we have out of Utah called Lift Local. They are an awesome firm, and their specialty is, number one, driving driving prominence and relevance on Google, your My Business profile, when people search for you, not in the Google sort of website rankings, but when they search for you, the Google local rankings. So if you search for like insurance near Missouri Valley, Iowa, there's going to be like 3 or 4 ads that are completely irrelevant, not even in insurance. And then there's going to be, here's the people who work with Medicare around here. And then below that is like the Google website searches. It has, like all the different websites and stuff, but there's ads. And then there's the local results that if you guys can recall, it looks like this, where it says, hey, here's like directions, here's website, you can click on these different things. That's what they optimize for you at Lift Local. And they also proactively generate reviews from your existing clients. So most of us have the majority of our clients within a couple hours. So being able to have reviews from a lot of people in a centralized location is going to drive your Google My Business profile and optimize it for that prominence and that relevance, so that if somebody is searching for something, Google's like, hey, these are the actual people that you need to talk to about that. So so in our partnership with Lift Local, our partnership with Snoozy, and with our branding firm, we can put together this brand in a box thing for you to help you with your logo, create some basic stationery, get you hooked up with point of sale materials, and then really elevate that to a website and social media, elevate that to the client review and SEO process. And then if you want to go spend a bunch of money on Facebook ads or Google ads or, internet optimization engines and all that kind of crap, then knock yourself out. But until then, without a brand, without materials, without these things in place, it's total overkill, and you're just burning through cash. You don't need the thing that's going to provide you, 1,500 leads a week, at $3 a lead or whatever, if you don't have some of these basic structures for people to go and look and see if you're legit or not. So that's all I got for branding. Tal, you want to jump in on any kind of examples or feedback that you've gotten from your guys' downline reps on the branding, or where you see the value in that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest thing that it does is, like you touched on, Josh, is it establishes credibility all around. I mean, we've had people out there that have been in the industry for 20 years, and they've never had anything like this. They just kind of were flying by the seat of their pants, and they had a pretty good business model and everything. But once they started working with us and working with you, Josh, and we started building out some of these brochures and like the birthday cards and policy anniversary cards and everything like that, they started receiving different phone calls from their existing clients and referrals and everything, for people saying, hey, I got this this card that you sent out, or this brochure or something like that, and I had no idea that in addition to Medicare you did life insurance or you did annuities or anything like that. And so it is really driving a lot of new business for these guys, establishing credibility, and it gives the clients something in their hand where they can give to somebody else and say, hey, I was working with Josh Malang and Malang Financial Group. You need to go talk to him about your Medicare or your retirement or something like that. So it's been overwhelmingly positive since we've rolled this out to a bunch of our agents, and I can't wait to bring more and more to you and have them start reaping some of the success that the early adopters have had.
I like it, man. And isn't this fun? Isn't this fun stuff?
Dude, this is fun.
Isn't it fun? Being able to provide some of these really things, like you guys are a badass wholesaling juggernaut, okay? And you've been building since 1989. You got a huge amount of people who do business with you. Everybody loves you. But there's stuff that you guys just don't do. I mean, there's stuff that you support people's businesses, but really supporting them from a retail standpoint in terms of like these point of sale materials. And we're going to talk about tech and some of the things with service. You're highly equipped to help them on a wholesale level, but to really provide that retail partnership is just, it was a blind spot for you. It was a space that needed to be filled. And what we've been able to do with some of these agents and agencies by having this, we call it, kind of like the three-legged stool of, like an agency and their vision, and partnering with Western Marketing, all the great value that they provide, and partner with ProDash and us on some of these retail structures. It's like an unbeatable combination. It allows people to really put their foot on the gas, play offense for a living, and continue to grow their business. So it's just so cool. The partnership's just been amazing. So we're going to talk about it.
It definitely has, Josh, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. I mean, we're just getting started here. Josh and his team and me and my team over at Western Marketing, we try to meet in person, every couple of weeks, kind of discuss how things are going, discuss some new ideas and everything. And I tell you what, every time we meet with those guys, like I cannot wait to get to the next step. Like, we're super pumped. I think the last meeting we had, we met at noon, and we were supposed to go till about 2:30 or 3. It was about 9 o'clock before we wrapped up that night, Josh.
I don't know. You have to check our receipt at the Bucksnort, but I think it might have been 9:30 before we got out of town.
Yeah, it was crazy, but we every time we get together, we come up with new programs, new ideas, and like I said, there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe that we're super excited about. So we're just getting started.
I
It's
love it. I love
beautiful.
it. I love it. So we'll talk about tech a little bit here. So this is really the beginning of ProDash, was us building up this tech platform because we saw a need in the marketplace to consolidate all this information. Because for us to manage our clients more effectively in our retail agency, we needed something, and there wasn't anything out there that did an effective job of that. So if you have a CRM and you love it, great. If you have a CRM and you don't love it, we should talk. If you don't have a CRM, you need one. Okay. So, the CRM is really one of those things, again, that is really important to be able to manage your business like a business if you're trying to become a top producer. If you're like a solopreneur and you're happy with, bringing on referrals only and bringing on 5 or 10 new clients a year, whenever your phone rings, cool, man. That's going to be great. You're probably not even on this call. You're probably golfing right now. But if you're looking forward to building your business and becoming a top producer and going on all these trips and stuff like that, not only with Western Marketing, but with these carriers and stuff, you're going to want to have a business that you treat like a business. And one of those structures is tech. So if you have it, you should, if you don't have it, you should have it. And ProDash is a good outlet for you. So this is kind of our homepage. This really sets you up with being able to instantly quote. We have a data feed from CSG Actuarial. I know they have a white label version of that with Western Marketing, but all that data is baked into our system as well. So the thing about in our system, it ties in with your client information, the existing policy information, so that it can all be kind of on one wavelength. I'll show you what that looks like. So this is kind of what our homepage looks like. We have our people section. So again, getting all your clients in one spot is really important. Seems kind of basic, but is hugely valuable. I just got off a call at 10 o'clock with the firm that was on one of these calls with Western Marketing, and they thought they had like 3,000 clients. By the time we audited their information and onboarded them into our technology, it turns out they have like 2,500. Which is totally, as a matter of fact, one of the best results we've seen. Typically, people have half as many clients as they think they have because they have no way of tracking it. And even if they track it in a CRM, they have no way of auditing that information and maintaining it on an ongoing basis. When we started auditing our data, I thought we had 4,000 MedSup and MAPD clients that were in our We had a CRM, but we didn't have any back-end auditing to it. And so when we dug into it, we started checking our comp statements to find out who we were still getting paid on. Turns out we had 2,000. We had a 4-year retention of 50%. We're not terrible, right? I mean, like, we're not bad. We had staff. We took good care of people. 50% retention is terrible. It's awful. I'm like, how does this even happen? Well, when it's easy for people to leave, they leave, and you don't get notified of it. And when you're not keeping track of them on the back end, it's real easy. So this is a way to really have all your information in one spot and really look at your business as a business, not just a bunch of files or a filing cabinet or a spreadsheet. So each individual policy, this is really built for senior market. You can put any products you have in here. If you're an ACA, if you're doing mortgage protection or final expense or any of that stuff, all that information can go in here. It really shines though because of the data feeds in the senior market stuff. So this is an example of like what a MedSup would look like, where it's at in the life cycle. All these kind of relevant details, issue date, submitted date, effective date, all that kind of stuff. It's just good to go back and look. You got a client who calls you and has some questions. So this is what a profile looks like for an overall client. So you can see kind of some of their basic client information summary up here, which is actually, if you expand upon it, it's this. I missed that last page. I think I deleted it. Never mind. Back to the show. So the accounts will be anything from the MedSups, MAPD, final expense, PDP, anything you have, anything you've written. It all goes in here into the accounts. Active stuff, old stuff, whatever. So you can kind of view everything in one place. And also we have drag and drop functionality for files. So you can have your what's the, I want to say AOR, but that's not it. The SOA, the scope of appointments go in there because you got to save them until the end of time. So if you put them in here and store them electronically, they'll never go anywhere. Everything is in the cloud on Amazon Web Services paper. But so you can drag and drop, like in this case, we've got a driver's license in here. So if you want to have this in here, it's all HIPAA compliant. So this can help you kind of manage really the whole relationship with the client. This is a task board. So we have different task flows set up to where if you're an individual or an agency, individual or agency, you can see either yours or all your downstream in a retail agency setting. You can see all your team stuff in here as well. We have lead flows set up for canceling old policies, AEP, final expense, new leads and renewals. So these are kind of pre-built task flows that you can take your clients through on these different levels, and really kind of manage like your time. Like, all right, well, who do I have today that I need to set appointments with? Who do I have that I need to go through a fact finder with? And you can really kind of manage sort of a task flow, which helps you become more efficient, more organized. So we have these built out for these different processes now, but it is customizable. So we can make you, like Tyler, if you've got, hey, I've got a process that's 4 steps long, I call it A, B, and C, we can like build that in there. So it can be custom to whatever your task flow is. And then on the activity report, we can kind of track all that for either you and or your downline, either one of these, those task flows. And it really can kind of give you from an accountability standpoint, the numbers to let you know if you or your team are really hitting the numbers that you need to ensure your success from an activity perspective. So this is a really cool thing. It's exportable into PDF. So this is just a really solid kind of platform. It's built by a senior market producer agency, business owner person in my team and the team that we hired to develop this. So it's got almost all the things that we need and none of the things that we don't need to manage a senior market agency. So these 2 things here that we're going to go over next and finally on the tech side are absolutely game-changing things that you get by having all of your clients in one spot, all of your accounts and policies in one spot. So these are some of the analytics that we can provide, which help you really mine your business for additional opportunities for retention, upselling, cross-selling, all the above. So this will show the average age of your clients, the average policy longevity you have. I don't know if anybody's been in the MedSup business, but after 6 years on most contracts right now, you're not getting any recurring revenue after 6 years on any new contract. So that's a huge thing. So if you've got clients who've been on the books for 4, 5, 6 years, you definitely want to be reaching out to them, find out if you can save them money. If underwriting wise, they can switch to a different policy or whatever. So you can basically make a marketing list, a campaign out of this thing for you or your team. We can look at gender in here, and we can also go by age ranges. So there's different points of time where, a carrier will come out and they'll be super, super competitive, like Aetna. I mean, Aetna, if you're over 80, Aetna's super competitive on cost, and they're very competitive on commissions. So they're as a matter of fact, they're the only company that I know of that pays normal commissions with advance, full comp, people over 80. So, if you want to search a book of business for everybody you got over 80, and make sure that they're on Aetna if the rate's competitive, that can allow you to do that. A lot of these carriers, you'll see based on their pricing that they're more or less competitive in different kind of pockets. It may be a new company comes out and you put their rates next to somebody else in your rater, and it's like, man, these guys are really competitive, like 70 to 75-year-old females. They're the best. Like they really want that business. Pull it in here, female, 70 to 75, boom, you have a list of people that you can reach out to and get them the best possible deal. So, and from a marketer standpoint, Tyler, this really comes in handy too, to help people mine their books of business for different, ages or policy longevity, to create new opportunities to really maximize the value of their asset, which is their business, which is ultimately their client relationships. So this next analytic, I know want to talk about this. This is something you're fond of. So this talks about the total number of accounts you have, the total amount of gross annual premium you've got. It can be broken down by producer, broken down by carrier, broken down by product type. So, as these carriers come out with more and more, these ancillary upsell, dental, vision, hearing, hospital indemnity, that kind of stuff, cancer, different products, you can sort it by carrier and say, hey, I want to look at every Humana MedSup that I have on the books, or every Humana MAPD I have on the books, and be able to pull down a report and use that as a marketing campaign. So, and again, you also can look at it from the standpoint of, hey, I want to look at producer X. I want to look at whichever, we got some interesting names in there. Mr. Incorporated is one of the producers in this book of business here. He sounds really productive. Mr. and Bobby Joe is another one I see. Bobby Joe, she not so much. So we can sort by producer and what carrier and what product type, one or all or none. So this is a really effective way. Again, if you have all your clients in one spot and all your policies and product types in one spot, you can look at your book of business as a business and say, man, here's some opportunities that I can work on this or that. And it's a really powerful way to maximize the value of your business. Tyler, I know you guys have been working on some strategies for this and kind of putting together some ideas on how to help people use this type of data to grow their business.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We're really really excited about this feature. One thing that I always tell my marketers, when they're talking to agents, Josh, is you turn every call into a marketing call. If an agent calls in and says, "Hey, I got a question for you. I need this." Well, I try to tell them to talk about, there's always something new or always something that needs to be brought up that the agents might not know about or everything like that. And the same I think works with your clients. And like he was saying, you can track it by carrier. So say you get a notification from, let's just say Aetna for ease of sake. Say Aetna sends out and says, "Hey, everybody in Iowa is going to have a 13% rate increase." Well, guess what? Now you can go into the CRM system, pull up all your Iowa clients, and start contacting them, letting them know that they're going to have a 13% rate increase. And this even goes for the unhealthy ones. You're going to have a certain percentage of your block there that says, they're not going to be able to get rewritten elsewhere or something like that. But hey, guess what? Aetna just came out with a new dental, vision, and hearing plan. There's no underwriting on that. You haven't talked to them about dental, vision, hearing before. Now it gives you an opportunity to contact them, not even just to let them know about the rate increase, but also some different stuff that you're offering. So that's just one of the very few ways that you can utilize this tool. There's going to be a million more, and like Josh said, he and I and some of my team, we're building out some strategies and everything to really utilize this. So once we get all that completed, would be happy to kind of roll that out to you guys and send you everything we got.
Yeah, it's a basic thing. If you have all your stuff in one spot, you can kind of take a look at it and use it. You can't use it when you've got 1,400 files laying around. You can't analyze data like that. It's just information until it gets into one spot. The information in one spot is data, and data you can actually do something with. And so this account analytic and client demographic analytic are super powerful. And here's the cool thing: it didn't matter. We are IMO agnostic. We have friends who are IMOs, but we're IMO agnostic. We're not an IMO. We're not trying to be an IMO. We're not trying to get you in our downline. But like, everything that you have will go into ProDash, you guys. So even if you have a business across 6 different IMOs and 15 different carriers, like, we'll help you onboard all that stuff into the system so that you can actually look at it. Because some IMOs have where they can provide you, hey, here's all this stuff that you've written through me. Some of them do, some of them don't, but that's like only as good as what you wrote through them. I've had a few IMOs that I've worked with that, like, this is like what you did when you were with us. It's like, well, that's cool and thank you, but like, I need to know where all the rest of my stuff is too, So this thing doesn't really care who you're doing business with. It's really for you guys as an agency and as producers. So we like our tech platform. We think it's great. A lot of people think it's great too. If you have one and you love it, then great. If you don't have one and you need one, this is a good one. And if you have one and you don't love it, this is a good one. So we'd love, again, to engage in a conversation, because you got to have your information in one spot if you're trying to become a top producer. The stats are, really the people who are making over a couple $100,000 in this industry are really heavily referral based. And, you're going to get a lot more referrals if you're positioned as a business, as a resource in multiple different areas. And the other thing is they have between 4 and 6 products they offer. And it's not 4 to 6 products they offer on their website when they have a list of the 32 different lines of business that they write. It's actually being able to have competence and confidence in 4 to 6 areas of lines of business. And the only way we can really do that is by taking inventory of what you've got. So that's a story on tech. One of the other big pieces, you guys, if you want to be a top producer, let me tell you something, you got to have staff. You got to have staff. And staff is very expensive. It's high liability, high risk. I don't know if you guys have ever had any turnover at Western Marketing. Tyler, probably not. But if you have, it's expensive and time consuming.
Extremely, yes. Yeah, this service model that you built out, Josh, is probably my favorite thing to talk about. So I can't wait for you to go over it here, and hopefully I'll be able to provide some insights, success stories, and everything here at the end when you're done.
So we, when I was building our retail agency, we had, between 6 and 18 agents always. We always had about a dozen, I would say, on average, and everybody really, it was kind of their own business, right? So they got 1099 from me. All their comp flew through the agency. We paid them off a percentage of what we generated. That was kind of their thing. So they're responsible. We provided them the structure and support and resources to build their business. But at the end of the day, they need to build their own business. They were wearing my jersey around, but it was really their deal. So after a while, I realized that some of those agents weren't taking great care of the clients. And for me, I was half of the owner of those clients. And so that was not very exciting to find out. When I found out that 50% of the people we put on the books over the last 4 years were actually not there any longer, I was like, wow, that's $600,000 in recurring revenue that we are not getting, that we definitely could use to grow the business from this point forward. And so I was like, how do we manage all of that? How can we possibly manage this for people? We already provide them, office and all these basic things to help them build their business and branding and all this other stuff. But like, how can we step in and provide service for them so they can actually go out and just grow their business instead of dealing with reactive service and retention and stuff, which most of them weren't anyway, but how can we do that so that we're retaining the clients? And so we built this proactive service model, and we actually created a sort of unified spot where people could call. We use 1-800 number. They'd call in, we'd answer the phone, and we actually manage service for all of our agents so they could go out and they could be more productive. So what we decided was, when we're talking to people about this tech and branding stuff, a lot of people could use that. And so we built this service model, and it has been an absolute game changer for tons of people. It's what's allowing people to level up and become top producers and agency builders, and even create a succession plan that they can pass their business from themselves to someone else. So again, we're using Jane here, all right, because she's, she makes these materials look pretty good. Okay, so so this is one of kind of like an entry level. So we build out. Let's see if I can find it. So we have this marketing calendar. So if you have MAPDs, we're actually going to take care of your MAPDs and make sure that they get retained during AEP for you. I don't know, for me, AEP always drove me nuts because I had a bunch of people running around like chickens with their heads cut off, and there was PDPs and MAPDs flying all over the place. We're burning through stacks of apps and submitting all this crap. And at the end of the day, I was like, wow, we like rewrote 80% of our clients. That was what we did during AEP. Like, we didn't bring on a whole hell of a lot of new people. We just rewrote all the stuff that we had anyway. I'm like, well, that sucks. That was a lot of work and a lot of money and a lot of time to basically end up where we were if we hadn't done a damn thing, And so AEP is like the most fertile ground, especially if you're an ACA also. You got AEP and OEP, but it's like the most fertile ground for bringing on new customers. And instead of bringing on new customers, guys, we spend all of our time retaining the ones we already have. It's crazy. So we actually will do that for you. We'll let people know what their options are. We let them know what they have, what their options are, and we will retain them for you and get that business to stay in your name, even if we need to switch you to a new carrier. So that's one of our services. We also do a welcome letter that says, hey, I appreciate you, being a client of mine. I've expanded my service team. Everything we do is in your brand. When Jane's clients call us, we answer the phone. Thanks for calling Client Senior Insurance. This is Rob. How can I help you? Or whoever answers the phone. Anytime we're calling out, we call out, hey, this is Carly with Client Senior Insurance. You work with Jane on your med sup. Oh yeah, great, Jane. We love Jane. So any incoming or outgoing calls, not only do we use your branding on that, your dedicated phone number on that, our goal is to take the place of your reactive service and take that off your shoulders. I don't know if anybody's phone rings throughout the week on client service issues, but that will derail you from your marketing and prospecting and playing offense stuff. It will prevent you from growing your business. And when you get to a certain number of clients, that is a full-time job, really becoming a very highly paid customer service person, which is no good for anybody. Tyler, I'm sure you got people in your downline that were so good at building their business that now they can't even really build their business anymore. The guys that are
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a conversation that I have every day with agents. It really opened my eyes when you started talking to us about the service model and everything. So I just started flat out asking my agents, like this one guy I talked to, probably he's got, 1,500 clients or something. And he's a monster producer just every month, there's got business coming in. And I asked him one day, I said, man, you must have this really figured out. I said, you seem to be writing a ton of business. How much time do you think that you spend servicing your existing block of business? And he said it was 35 to 40 hours a week. And I'm just servicing existing clients. And I'm like, now, wait a second. I'm like, I'm seeing all this business come in. Like, where do you find time to do new business and everything? And he says, well, he goes, that's the other 35 to 40 hours a week I'm spending. I'm working 70, 80-hour weeks. Half of it's maintaining my block of business. The other half's trying to get new business. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, I had no idea that you were spending that kind of time. And so we started having this conversation and really kind of opened his eyes to this service model that you're providing. And I think he ended up getting hooked up with you, Josh, and
Nice.
now he's sending all of his service calls and everything over to you guys, and it's amazing. It works exactly like Josh is saying here. I've seen it firsthand. Somebody calls in, they answer the phone, Klein Senior Insurance or Finken Insurance or whatever it is. They handle all the service work on the back end, and that really frees up your time to focus on prospecting and getting new business in the door. I mean, it's incredible. It's been so fun watching this work.
Dude, and it's like we're licensed, certified, experienced people. We got licenses in 50 states. Like we know what we're doing. We're a third Medicare, a third life, a third annuity, and so we can take stuff on, and you're not going to outgrow us, right? So, it goes from like, do I want to be more productive or actually spend time, with my family or enjoying what I want? It's like we're here to really provide the where it's like, look, you can grow your business as fast as you want, and spend time on whatever you want, whether you want to grow your business or you want to, golf more or whatever the heck it is. So we become your service back office with this. And so it avoids you having to get staff and pay for benefits and unemployment and all this other crap. It's like we become your back office and your staff, and we do it, I think, in a professional way that really attracts people to you. When you get all of a sudden, you have, and these are some of my service team actually right here. Your clients get stuff like this in the mail, and all of a sudden they're like, what are you doing? Like, this is, wow, you're really growing the business. Yeah, we've got this service team we're working with now. We've got additional capabilities. So it has been awesome to see what it does to transition people's businesses, and for really pennies on the dollar for what you'd hire staff for. And instead of hiring staff, you can hire essentially me and my entire organization to partner with you and help you grow your business. So it's really a cool deal. So we've got this marketing calendar where you got MAPDs or med subs or ACA plans, or what we call no core health, which is like if you have just final expense or long-term care or whatever clients that don't have med subs or MAPDs or ACA, we market to them as well. So we have a per client per year fee for your active clients, and we will actually charge that on your active clients, not the number of clients that you think you have. So we'd make a lot more money if we just charged on what people thought they had. We'd make about double. But we actually go ahead and audit your book of business for you and let you know how many active clients you have. We charge on that, which is probably a bad business model, but it's working out. So we charge per month per active client fee for core health for us to service, retain, and take care of that reactive service. And then we actually do cross-selling in two ways. Either number one, if you have the license, certification, contracts, and experience, we'll generate a qualified lead for you and send it over to you and say, hey, Mrs. Smith has, we got an in-force illustration on her policy is going to die. You need to replace it. Or, Mr. Jones has $50,000 in a CD and he's got 100,000 investable assets. He really needs to generate some income off of that or whatever. If you aren't licensed, certified, contract, and experienced in life and annuity, we will go ahead and take care of that for you. And we do what accounts to about a 50-50 rev share of the street level commission. So on life insurance, like 90 or 100%, med subs, somewhere around 22%, annuities is something like 5 or 6%. So half of that stays with my service team for finding and writing and putting through underwriting and getting paid on that stuff. And the rest of that goes to you. And so we charge per contract per month. And then we also have revenue that we generate on cross-selling. So far, some of our results have been off of this in 90 days. We have one individual that's got 1,000 clients. We are 20% of the way through his book of business. He pays us $2,500 a month. His first commission check for 1 month from us is going to be $21,000 because he does not write life and annuity on his clients. He doesn't have a desire to write life and annuity on his clients. We happen to be freaking good at it. And he's building tons of Medicare clients and he loves it. It's like, keep doing more of that and use this 21 grand for more marketing to double down on that, because we're taking care of your reactive service and your retention on the back end. So you're not going to outgrow it. So this dude is, this guy's in your organization, Tyler. I expect him to double his production this year with you guys, not to mention double his income from all the value that we're providing him on our end. So this is changing people's careers. It's awesome.
It really is, and we've seen this firsthand. And the cross selling and everything is one that I personally was skeptical on, Josh, and I think we had relayed this to you. And when we first started this, I'm like, I don't know that people are going to want to turn over their block of business and let you talk about all this stuff and everything. Now that I've seen it in action, I'm like, boom, full speed ahead, baby. Let's go. Because like you said, this guy that you'd mentioned, strictly Medicare, didn't want to worry about life insurance, didn't want to worry about annuities, and started losing clients because, other people would get in there and not only rewrite their meds up, but they were talking to them about life insurance,
Right.
talking to them about their retirement, and he's losing out on all those commissions. And we're like, dude, like you have to do this. I mean, like you're the perfect candidate. And boom, like you said, the first 20% of his business that you've been through, 21,000 in commissions right off the bat, that's going to him. That's insane. That is insane.
Yeah,
And it's beautiful how it works. So I definitely encourage you, if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, if you're a Medicare person that, wants to generate extra comp off life insurance or annuities, definitely give Josh and his team a call, get hooked up with them, get started right away. I mean, it's an unbelievable system.
I'll tell you something right now. We are in the visionary phase of this with people who are just dumb enough to go, God, if this works, this could be amazing. We're going to end up with the early adopters and then the early majority, late majority, and laggards. And let me tell you something. The pricing will never be cheaper than it is right now, and the splits will never be higher than they are right now. I can tell you that for sure. If we're realizing that we can give somebody a 150 times return on their money over and over and over again, we'll be charging a little bit more money. So as we get, as we get chunks of business and bunches of customers, and we can really quantify this over, a rolling year period of time and really show you what the value is. We look at the value in terms of, with those dedicated 800 numbers or local numbers, we can tell you exactly how much time your clients are calling in that we're talking to, how much time we're calling out that we're talking to, how much time we're on the phone with carriers on your behalf talking to them. That same guy, I'm picking on him because we just recently put together all of his numbers. We spent 110 hours, Tyler, on the phone, incoming and outgoing calls on this dude's clients last month. This is one dude that works out of his house. 110 hours plus $21,000 in commissions. Plus, we rewrote a bunch of his med subs back in his block of business that he would have lost.
Yeah,
and he's paid $2,500 a month. It's like, come on, go ahead and find something that's a better opportunity for that to help you grow your business. I'll wait. I'll just keep the phone. I'll wait for you.
And you know what? You know what it did for him too, Josh? Not only given to all that commission and everything that you talked about, but I have seen an increase in his actual new business coming in because it's freed up his time to actually get back on the phone, get in front of clients and start selling. Plus, I know this guy's an avid golfer, so he has been out on the golf course a couple times that he probably wouldn't have been able to without this kind of service model. So
I love it.
Just the time that they get back is worth it in itself.
Win, buddy. So I want you to, reach out to Western Marketing, reach out to us. We're going to follow up with a little Calendly link that you can connect with somebody on my business development team to kind of run you through our process and see what areas we can work in that would benefit you. If you're in a good spot, great. If not, we'd love to help you. We're going to continue to do these things. We have an agency building one of these coming up. We have a succession planning one coming up. And then we're going to roll out our life and annuity mogul maker series for sales training. We're going to email everyone this marketing positioning guide that we put together for Western Marketing. It has kind of a highlight of some of these different things that we put together. We're going to send that to you for being on the call. But reach out to me, reach out to my team, reach out to the Western Marketing people. Buddy, thank you for having us on this call. We really look forward to having more success stories, and hopefully it's a lot of you guys on this call. Appreciate you being on the call. Have a great day.
Yep. Thanks, Josh. Have a great day, everybody.
Later, guys.